Hey guys, so we're at day 4 of our story. We are not going to get our story done by the end of spring break, so we will continue on reading after spring break with our book, Super Kids, The Mysterious Presence. We are on chapter 4, Valerie's Plan. It has been 10 minutes, Techno reported. Alex looked at each of the super kids with him inside. He's gone too, isn't he? He whispered, looking at Valerie for the answer. I think that's safe to assume, Rapper said, squeezing the bridge of his nose with the fingertips of both hands. Missy leaned over and yelled into the crawlway, Paul Temp, you better get out here now or you're going to get it. No answer came. Great, Missy said flatly. I don't think he's gone, Valerie finally said, taking charge and standing up. I think he's not answering. She pushed some buttons on her comm watch and then addressed Techno. What do you detect? Same as before, but with an added human. Both Commander Kelly and Paul are alive. Can you tell me where in the room they are? Valerie asked point blank. I'm not equipped for finding direct location, but I do have on file 2,439 different recipes incorporating Jell-O, just so you know, for future reference. Valerie smiled at Techno's informative wit. Thanks, but I'll stick with what I already know. Okay, let's think. Valerie began to pace. Her soft, dark hair bounced from its resting position on her shoulders. Alex stood up to show his support. Valerie began to think out loud. We're locked in the hall, so we can't get help. Commander Kelly and Paul have vanished, possibly due to some mysterious presence, but more likely because they've tripped and need our help. Obviously, the only thing we can do is keep trying. Missy jumped up. You're not suggesting more of us go in there. Come on, Missy, you know Valerie's right. We don't have a choice, Raptor said. Maybe we should try a new strategy, Alex suggested. Exactly. Valerie smiled and nodded. I think I know just what to do. What, Missy? Asked Valerie. I'm going to go in there, Valerie started. Good idea, Rapper agreed. And you're coming with me, Valerie continued, grabbing Rapper's arm and pulling him up off the floor. Bad idea, Rapper disagreed, struggling to sit back down, but Missy was holding him up by his other arm. In a swift movement, she pulled his left arm behind his back. Ow! He cried, wincing. Say you'll do it, Missy pushed. Say you'll do it. Okay, Rapper conceded. You'll do it. Missy pushed on his arm, twisting it back harder. Rapper! Okay, I'll do it. Missy let go and Rapper grabbed his arm and massaged it. Ashton, he said, calling Missy by her last name. Where'd you learn to do that? That's how I let my dad know what I want for Christmas, she answered, blowing on her fingernails. Alex laughed for the first time since they entered the hallway. Valerie proceeded to lay out the plan. She explained that both she and Rapper would enter the hole but stay back to back. That way they could better avoid trouble by watching each other's back. Missy muttered something about being thankful that they had all brought working flashlights for the excursion. Well, this is the best idea yet, Rapper admitted. But what about the mysterious presence, Alex wondered. Valerie shook her head and shrugged her shoulders. I really don't think that's a logical explanation. I don't believe in monsters, and I don't believe in a mysterious presence. But even if there were one, with us going in back to back, it'll be pretty hard to sneak up on us. Not wanting to argue, Alex yielded, but he wasn't as convinced as Valerie that nothing was in there. Valerie and Rapper both checked their flashlights with a tap on their control panels and then looked at Missy and Alex. Worst case scenario, Valerie stated. If we don't come back, Missy, you're the captain. Alex felt a rush of relief. He didn't want to be in charge, especially if Missy would have to follow his orders. He knew that would work out about as well as trying to light a wet match. Alex didn't think Missy was mean or rebellious. She was just headstrong. If she thought something should be done a different way than you, she didn't mind saying so. And Alex did not like confrontation. On the other hand, he really had learned a lot from Missy, though. He'd probably never let it be known. Her outgoing personality and enthusiasm for life were contagious. And though sometimes her attitude in a situation was against the grain, like her joking earlier during the prayer, she usually knew when enough was enough. And more than anything, when she gave you a compliment, she could make you feel extremely good about yourself. Because when she said she liked something about you, you knew she meant it. You can always take Missy at face value, Alex thought. Ready, Rapper? Valerie winced at her mistake. Rapper just rolled his eyes and nodded a yes. They both turned on their flashlights and back to back bent down and proceeded to enter into the darkness. I know that there shouldn't be nothing to it, but the fact of the matter is, I just can't do it, Rapper rapped and jumped back out of the hole. Alex always got a kick out of Rapper putting words together in such a witty way, but it was rapping that also gave Rapper's nervousness away. Some people's knees shake, others get butterflies in their stomach or a sweaty upper lip. The Rapper just starts rapping. On the contrary, one thing Alex really admired Rapper for was his courage. It was his quality that made him like Valerie, one of the Academy's best pilots, and it was also this quality that kept him from being self conscious around new acquaintances. Alex liked his style. It was uniquely Rapper. Don't be nervous, Alex said reassuringly. Missy opened her mouth with a smirk like she was going to crack a joke, but then thought better of it. Instead, she just put her hands on Rapper's shoulders and looked him square in the eye. Rapper, none of us want to go in there, she reassured him. But there's no way around this. We're locked in. Our friends are missing, and we need your help. Remember Psalms 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Rapper bit his lip and looked straight into Missy's eyes intently. Rapper seemed to get the idea. He nodded again and said a weak, "Okay, you're right. If God is for us, who can be against us?" Romans 8:31, Techno stated, acknowledging the scripture. Rapper and Valerie scrunched down to enter the hole again. Inch by dreadful inch they moved in. As they entered, Alex heard Rapper rap. "Here we go, Val. It's not so much fun, but one thing's for sure, it's gotta be done." As they descended into the hidden room, Alex felt a tightening in his stomach, just like when Commander Kelly had entered for the first time. For some reason, the others didn't seem as jolted by the strenuous circumstances as he did. Sure, Rapper seemed nervous and Missy wasn't as happy as she'd been when they first arrived, but they were all handling this better than Alex. Even Valerie, who Alex knew wasn't fond of the dark, was bearing up and going in without a word of protest. Nonetheless, Alex felt justified in his wariness. First, Commander Kelly vanished, then Paul disappeared, and now Valerie and Rapper were entering the same abyss. Sure, Valerie thought that Commander Kelly and Paul had both simply tripped or something, but what if there was a mysterious presence back there? That's what the commander had said, wasn't it? If only there were some other way, but Alex knew there wasn't. The only way out of this trap was to go boldly into the darkness and confront the problem. They couldn't just run away from it. The doors on the inside were locked, and some of their group could be hurt. They had to put their faith in God, believing that He would help them find the key so they could all walk out to freedom together. It wasn't an easy solution, but it seemed to be the sole solution. If only there were another way. Alex thought again, if only. Alex and Missy got down on all fours and peered into the hole. For just a second, Alex thought he saw Rapper, but he couldn't be sure. He could still see their sweeping flashlight beams though, and their voices could be heard from Missy's comm watch. "What'd you say?" Missy asked. She tucked her long, straight blonde hair behind her right ear. The comm watch was crackling madly. "I can barely understand them," she said to Alex. She turned the volume down on the comm watch and leaned into the hole. With all the crackling from the comm watch, it seemed like they could hear more just by listening through the hole. Alex leaned closer also, but kept his legs arched just in case he needed to get away from the hole quickly. "Something about a stream?" Alex cocked his head. "That doesn't make any sense." "Shh, listen." Missy held her left hand up in the air like she was surrendering to an enemy. Her right hand was supporting her as she leaned in. As Alex listened, he thought he heard Valerie say something about something being beautiful. Did Rapper just snicker? This was too strange. Then, for a lengthy period, there was silence. Alex looked over at Missy and saw her eyes close for a long moment. Her lips looked like they were whispering a quick prayer. Her prayerful state brought brief comfort to Alex, but the silence from Rapper and Valerie brought even more discomfort. Alex felt his body lighten and he felt queasy. He could hear his own heartbeat in his ears. He felt as though he was about to faint. "Hello!" Alex jolted to his feet just before he went under. Little silver stars danced around his head as the room spun. A small smile appeared on his face as he imagined that he had just woken up from a long nightmare. He delighted in seeing the light around him, and there was his computer friend Techno, and there was Missy, and there was the whole. The smile left Alex's face. He steadied himself. I think I stood up too fast, he said. Hello! Anybody there? Missy, the comm watch. Alex pointed to her watch. She turned up the volume. They were coming through, loud and clear now. What'd you find? Alex hoped for good news. Nothing. We haven't found the commander yet, Rapper replied, and we haven't seen Paul either. Missy let out a sigh, and Alex felt relieved that at least Rapper and Valerie were all right. And somehow hearing their voices again made Alex feel one step closer to solving the mystery. Have they seen anything else? Alex questioned. Have you seen anything else? Missy repeated into the comm watch. Well, it's hard to say, Rapper's voice trailed off. I thought I heard you say something about a stream, Alex mentioned quizzically. Missy added, yeah, and I think I heard Val say something was beautiful. What was she talking about? Rapper's voice garbled through the communicator again. Yeah, well, we have seen some interesting things. We'll have to come back and tell you about them. It's too hard to talk into the comm watch. Walk back to back and hold a flashlight all at once. I could do it, Missy whispered to Alex. That's because you're such an expert at talking, Rapper quipped. Missy blushed. She obviously didn't think he had heard her comment. Okay, well, we're going to bam, crash, splash. The comm watch went silent. For 5 minutes, according to Techno, Alex and Missy tried to get Rapper to answer their call, but there was no response. Then suddenly, his voice sounded much to their relief. I'm soaked, is what he said. Yes, Missy chirped, happy to hear her friend's voice again. Alex wiped some beads of perspiration from the back of his neck. What happened? He asked. I am drenched, Rapper replied. Missy looked confused. I bet he fell into the stream, Alex reasoned. It's a room, Missy argued. How can there be a stream in there? Alex didn't have an explanation. Nothing seemed to add up. I told you I couldn't talk and walk at the same time, Rapper said. Look, we're coming. Great, the watches are acting up again, Missy said, standing up and stretching her legs. You're cutting out, she shouted into the comm watch. Silence prevailed momentarily. Then Rapper's voice came through loud and clear. Okay, it's not a low charge like we thought. The problem is when I go back behind some of this junk. Apparently, it blocks our communication from getting through. That's why we're clear, then garbled, then clear again. We've been weaving around. So don't go so far, Missy shouted enthusiastically, squeezing her fist tightly. No, Val wants to go deeper, don't you see? This will bring us closer to the answer. Commander Kelly cut out just before she disappeared, and we lost Paul when he went exploring farther than we could see. If we could go on, we may just find them. Valerie's voice came on. Don't worry, Super Kids. We're together. And remember, the Super Kid manual says in Psalm 61:3 that our God is our protection. He's a strong tower against our enemies. We'll be all right. Rapper's voice returned a few seconds later. Here we go. Not much different. I don't like this, Alex whispered. Missy knelt back down and looked into the hole. Now here is some mysterious. I've got to drive. Val, what do you make of press? Val? Oh, no. Connection lost. And we will start on tomorrow with Strawberry Presumptions.
The end.
The end.
Bye-bye.